Woo. This actually feels pretty nice, especially after taking a nice shower and everything. Hey, how are you? Welcome to Grimmfiend's Midnight Commentary. I'm your host, Grimmfiend. I wanted to get an announcement out the way. My birthday is this Friday. I will be 22 years old. Ooh, wow. Another announcement I wanted to make. I'll still take any request, anything, if you just want me to just say literally something random or whatever, I'll take any requests within reason. You want me to shout out happy birthday, you want me to do some other type of stuff, let me know and I got you. Before I continue on with the next segment of just discussing deep thoughts. So the last video, negative 4.5, yeah, that was messy. Still remember it because, well, it was literally yesterday, but it's weird. It didn't really affect me too badly. It just let me know basically where people who my friends really were. I thought that I could be vulnerable, basically. I thought that these people were something that they presented to me as this and the other third. I thought that I could trust and confide in them, and well, they just up and left for whatever reason that who knows, maybe I might know, maybe I'll never know. Truth is, they're gone, and there's nothing I can do about it. My ex, someone that I considered a friend, and some other stuff, but then again, that group of individuals were not very saucy. Honestly, whatever happens to them, and as mean spirited as this is to say, I'm the type of guy to where it's like where everybody would go like, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy or whatever. I would. I would. I like to say whatever happens to them in life now at this point, they deserve it. Well, let me know if that was something right or wrong to say, and I'll genuinely consider it to a good degree. Alright then, let's get into deep thoughts. Let's try to find something off of Reddit. Normally I like to try to do these on the spot, you know. Someone said the happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. Voltaire. I think that is a philosopher. Do you think the statement is true? If yes, how can it be applicable? The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. What that means to me is basically, y'all know what solitude means, right? Solitude basically means just being on your own, or just like, as someone said it best, just being invisible, just you enjoy your own company. Weird thing is, a lot of people think that I genuinely can enjoy my own company. I do. It's just when you find someone who is just, I'm a clingy motherfucker, by the way. I can admit that. And sometimes I've learned not to be clingy. But it's like when I find that special person, it's just, I can't help but to be around them all the time. It's weird though. It's like people are social creatures because if you think about it, if you isolate from the group or whatever, what normally happens, especially out there in the wild and stuff like that, you normally get a pretty bad ending, don't you? When you isolate from the pack. But that's also the weird thing that we struggle with is finding that individualism, you know? Who knows, maybe you might resonate with these videos, maybe you might halfway, or maybe you might not at all. I'd love for you to believe that you also have a voice as well. to keep going onto this topic, let's see. Sometimes you just sit around and you do nothing, and maybe that might feel good, maybe that might feel bad. It's just, we can sit here and just lie, saying it feels good, it feels great being on your own. But let's not lie. When you do find that special someone, man, your life starts to have color and shit again, and you just sit there like, wow. I've had that multiple times, and then that color just fades, and it's just, things go back to normal. It's kind of like having an HDR TV. It's like, y'all know what I'm talking about, especially for all my gamers and stuff, that high definition resolution. It's like, that stuff really does make the difference. It's like, you go from playing like normally to just like, wow, everything's enhanced. But everything is very subjective if you think about it. Now then, another one that happens to be very controversial. Let's see. Better to find peace, that's a true happiness. Let's see. People who are loving and humorous in nature are disrespected the most. This is the user, Ashradon, saying this. I'll have to say it again. Take a sip of water. Don't forget to just drink something nice. Life is hard, and it will become harder if you're rude. Unfortunately, a lot of people mistakenly see that your kind and humorous nature is weak and stupid. That's because I like to think that they haven't experienced that by and large, and they think that someone might be faking this, that whatever their personal reason is. I like to treat people by being kind and trying to make you laugh. Well, not all the time, it just happens, but I try to intentionally be kind because you never know what someone's going through, no matter what. And if you hate yourself as a result of me being kind to you or whatever, that's on you. I know we say we should all be kind to another, but just, let's see. It's really hard for people to meet someone who is truly amazing. Anyway, back to what Ashra Dawn was saying. And you're liking something is suitable to your taste, interests, or wishes, which is inherently selfish. And humans are selfish. Either they dislike you or not, just do what you really want to do. Try it without regrets. Surround yourself with people you respect and people who respect you. Accept people how they are and place them where they belong. I'm not gonna lie. That sounded both really self-ser- no, that sounded not both, but three things to me. Self-serving, stupid, and it makes sense. Why is it self-serving? Find what works for you. Why is it self-serving? Furthermore, it's just you're catering all of this towards you, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Why is it stupid? You're gonna have to go through so many things that are gonna make you feel stupid, if that makes sense. You basically are going to have to go through the trial and error of just finding these people over and over that you can really just respect, whatever, and they really don't. They could secretly be doing this, that, and the other third. The reason why I said it was stupid is because place them where they belong. Either to you, to them, whatever. I like to think that we don't really belong, we just fit in. whether the shape is right or wrong. God, I sound like such a hypocrite, or I'm contradicting myself. I don't care. It just sounds very stupid to me because placing someone where they belong is just, I don't know, that's a foreign concept to me because I, for one, I don't belong, and I'm projecting that. And it makes sense because this is your own personal thing. Let's see, let's just keep going through more of these. Someone made this one that I really love a lot. Let's check this out. My Gotham Knights has been ready. Time, this is the user, Dan, please. Time isn't just the fourth dimension. It's also our most valuable currency. Let's read this verbatim. Time is something I've always been incredibly fascinated by. Ever since relatively we've known time is relative and it warps and bends. Gravity and high velocity can warp time hugely. Time almost grinds to a halt as you pass over the event horizon of a black hole. But what about our time, our lifetime? People seem obsessed with chasing money, girls, cars. This idea that working yourself into the ground makes more valuable and successful. But what does that cost you in time? What does that cost you in respect to the one thing you can't generate more of? In my humble opinion, balance and happiness is what we should spend our time trying to find. I became a father 8 months ago, and that has revolutionized how I look at time. Every second of my day is valuable, as is either time with my son and wife or time away from them. I can never generate more time with my son, so I need to cherish the time I do have as babies develop so fast. If a client cancels these days, I don't have to worry about losing money. I get excited about an extra day with my family. That's honestly how I look at things too. Balance is a necessity when it comes to time. I think that if more people thought about how they spend their time, who they spend it with, where they spent it, then they would achieve happiness and balance, and when it's time to punch out, they were happy how they spent their time and not regret how they didn't. I'm going to say something that is just purely how I feel at the current state. Who knows? It might change, it might not. Just, I take my time extremely serious. I do. I really do. Because as goofy, as rambunctious, whatever the hell that I act, if I decide not to act like that, well, it's completely different, obviously, but just, I like to move in accordance. Yes, have I tried chasing money, women, and materialistic things? Of course, of course. Especially whenever all you hear about is you need to go and get this, you need to go and do this by society standards, and then you start formulating to yourself that you need to start doing this, that, and the other third, and it's just, you're basically trading away all your time so that way you can enjoy all the finer things in life later. But it's just like, I don't know why I'm so scared to just say this. It's just, if someone were to tell me sacrifice your younger years to just go out and finally enjoy yourself whenever you're older and stuff like that, it's like when you're older, you really can't move, you really can't do the things that you want to do whenever you were younger, you know? It's like some people abandon, in the pursuit of money, for example, they abandon their own personal health. They abandon a lot of other things. Like, I'll use my dad as an example. Jeez, what is it? He spent most of the time working and etc. So that way, now, well, I don't know what's really going on between me and him. I feel like he's actually disowning me, but back then, we would be able to enjoy and do a lot of trips or just some other stuff because he wasn't able to as a kid, you know? but he worked and slaved himself bone, to the bone, so that way now we can just go and do whatever the hell we want to. Well, him and my siblings, do I miss it? Yeah, but just that feeling, that existential dread of just trying to live up to something that I don't want to be, or just that's not me. It's just I value my time because I want to enjoy myself. And I know that, yes, money is a necessity, but I'm also just sitting here like, what can I do to just validate, or what would someone pay me a lot for, so that way I can finally enjoy myself? Because it's like, I don't want to be old and not functioning properly. Sure, I can still enjoy like a goddamn trip to Antarctica, Mexico, Italy, whatever the hell, right? Or let's just say if I were to have a child or something like that, which I don't know if I have any children, but that's a story for another day. Jesus Christ. Um, what if I have any children? It's just like the guy said, whenever I don't work or whatever, or if I have shorter days or whatever, I'm like, finally, I have more time to just enjoy, just relax, not stress, not have nothing crazy happen. Unless I want it to happen that day, which is just different, you know? Sorry, my friends were texting. Um, I can be able to spend all that time into something that I find more worthwhile and etc. than just, sorry, a burp was coming, than just working and doing something that I don't want to do. And I know life is very unfair that we have to do things that we don't want to do, but just, we all have an option, we all have a say. Sure, am I going to suffer in some regards if I decide to just say fuck it and do whatever I want to do? Yeah, that's the curse of freedom. Your own freedom. You're free to do anything, but at the same time, you also have to uphold and keep yourself to that, whatever you place on yourself more than anyone, anything. Just, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I value my time because I see people that I care about growing older, and it's just, nobody really notices it like that until it's just, you see them old, and it's just, it's it's heartbreaking. You see someone so healthy and young or whatever, and maybe hopefully they took care of themselves, and just that hurts less. Or the opposite, you see that maybe they've become a smoker, they've been doing some other type of stuff or whatever, and you've been hoping that they can get better, but it's just they use that time to whatever discredit whatever they use. Yeah, I'm being biased against this because I've had a lot of experiences where I've just seen people grow old with like a lot of bad things that they've done. And I wouldn't say it catches up, but it's just, it's a myriad of things that I just can't pinpoint, but I've seen a lot of it, and it's just, like, for Christ's sake, my siblings, I remember, like, it was literally yesterday that they were kids, and then now they're teenagers, and then in a few more years they're going to be adults, and I'm just sitting here like, fuck, you know? I start thinking, what do I really have to show for my time? What do I really, all I really have is like the knowledge, and I feel like that's more valuable than anything, but also just like a car to myself, like a house. I want to say materialistic things, but things that you genuinely do need, like stuff like that. And I've been trying my damnedest, but bills, random shit, compulsive spending, it's like you feel hopeless. So it's like, why keep trying? Yet despite all of that, I keep trying. Ain't that wild? And then with all that time, it's just, I just want to travel. I just want to experience all that life has to offer within whatever short or long period span that I have. But I think I might. No, no, fuck that. I'm not gonna think that I'm confined to this, that, the other, third. Me and you, we've been working, even if others haven't seen it. Sometimes they don't have to. It's just we try to at least. No, nobody really 100% knows what the fuck they're doing. Either you go off of what someone else says, and then look, we're all figuring stuff out. We're all figuring stuff out. Everyone forgets that. You can still be 50 and you'd be like, damn, I don't know how to adult. I don't know how to do this, that, and the other third. Sure, it's that experience that makes the deteriorator. But if you think about it, a lot of older people, sure, they know how to do physical or manual labor, like all this other type of like hard work stuff. But the sad, harsh reality and truth of it, no one gives a fuck. You can work your damnedest and no one will give a fuck. For Christ's sake, a lot of older people don't know how to operate technology properly and you can read. They say that like people of my generation are lazy and etc. No, we're not lazy. We just want something that's simple and livable, but everyone and their mom wants to exploit this, that, the other third, get one over. Just it's crazy shit. And I'm gonna be honest, I can't stop it. The most that I can do is just try to be that change about it and be like, hey, if you come to me, I can offer that change. But in order for me to get there, like let's just say if I started like a t-shirt business, a clothing brand, a clothing business or something like that, which I'm trying to. I'm trying to. I already have a website. I'm gonna link it in the description and stuff. The thing is, all we can do is try. Sorry, I'm tired. I got off of work about like actually, what time is it? Yeah, 3 hours ago. Speaking of that, I need to go ahead and set an alarm. I'm supposed to be working from 11 a.m. to 2:30, so. Like, I'm not lazy. Majority of the time, whenever I do work, I like to feel like whatever I'm doing, or yeah, just as a whole, that is contributing, is doing something at least, you know? Either for me, for others, whatever the hell that objective, that goal is at that time. Now we're gonna do one more deep thought. Let's try to keep looking. It's kind of hard to find one that interests me. Ah, this one. The user a Doge miracle. Scariest part of mental health problems is that in many cases, no amount of fucking money, resources, no, none of that can solve it. You're stuck with it. You're stuck with it. There's no permanent solution. That's why I fucking hate taking pills. If it's not natural, if it's not something that my body will do or whatever the fuck, no. Sure, it helps me process and everything, but it's just like, it makes me sit there and go like, this is not who I am. And everybody, not everybody, a lot of people rag on me for being mentally ill, for being crazy, this, that, and the other fucking third. You need to get your shit together. And they don't even have their shit together. They're not fixing their own fucking problems. Yeah, sure, maybe I've annoyed or I've done some other shit to just like piss them off or whatever the fuck. We all have our problems. But you would think that the amount of resources and shit would be a goddamn cure. I just couldn't bear the thought of really bearing another day with carrying all of this shit that I have to carry around like a burden or an anchor. So I keep telling myself multiple times whenever I feel that low, that crazy, that just negative thing, I don't need it anymore. I don't need it anymore. I don't need that side of me. Now, this is going to be a weird pivot. Blue Lock, for example. Blue Lock is one of the best mangas and animes ever fucking written. I'm not going to fight you on that. Fuck it, I actually will. Unless, if it's Berserk, I'm just going to go like, yeah, I agree with you. But shit, I need to stop before I go off into anime. The amount of times that the main character is just like, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, ugh, anime. Let me ask you this: how many times have you watched your favorite TV show, movie, or whatever the fuck, and the character does the same damn thing that I'm describing? I don't need that side of me. I need to just move on and rebuild myself, type shit. You know? Even having supportive people really doesn't do that much because it's just shit, man. It's just something there that just really. You gotta look at that fucking mirror. Sorry, I'm feeling. This is really hitting me on the head, and hopefully I can continue this for another day. But thank you for tuning in to Grimm's. I almost forgot the name. Grimm's Midnight Commentary, number 5. Take care, stay safe, and comment peanut if you made it this far.